back, guys. So today I've got a very special guest for you. My guest today is Paul Nison. Hey, Paul.
Hello, how you doing?
Great. Thanks for joining us. It's really an honor to have you on the channel.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So today I thought we could just discuss kind of your health transformation that you've seen since you found the raw food diet. One of my goals for this channel is to give people a lot of exposure to people that have transformed their lives and transformed their health after finding raw foods. So, as I understand it, you had this situation come up in your life where you were having some health issues and you came across the raw food diet, and now you're where you are today. And could you kind of explain to the viewers what kind of path you've taken with raw foods?
Sure. Well, basically, when I was 19 years old, I got diagnosed with inflammatory bowel disease, also known as ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. It's inflammation of the colon. Now, up to that point, I was a very active person and very fit person. And many times people mistake fitness for health. And most people in the gym think they're fit, but they're really they're not healthy, but they're fit. It's not necessarily the same thing. Well, that's the category I was in, and I was very competitive. But then I got some really bad stomach pains, and I started seeing blood in my stool. And the doctors finally diagnosed me with inflammatory bowel disease, but they told me diet had nothing to do with it. Well, I couldn't eat anything, or I would end up going to the doctor or the hospital. Literally, I could not eat anything without running to the bathroom and having bloody stool. So everything I was eating up to that point was pretty much processed junk food and this typical standard American diet. Well, I went to a local health food store and I started eating more vegetarian options, and I started to see a little improvement. And against my doctor's advice, I thought the diet did have something to do with it. I became a vegan, a junk food vegan, because I didn't know any better, still not eating any fruits or vegetables. And I ended up moving to West Palm Beach, Florida to escape the quick-paced stress of New York. And when I got down to West Palm Beach, Florida, I ended up moving next to a place called the Hippocrates Health Institute, which is a world-class raw food health spa. And I went there a couple of times to see them, and I learned about the raw food diet. I went on a raw food diet, a raw vegan diet, and immediately I felt tremendously better, and continued to improve that, because even with that, there could be a junk food version of that.
Sure.
But I continue to improve that and continue to improve that, where I got to a point I didn't suffer from inflammatory bowel disease anymore, and any other issues I might have had improved. And just overall, from my thinking to my physical fitness to my illness to everything was improving. So I was excited about that, and after that, just like you, I went on a journey to interview a lot more people who had been eating this way for many years.
Mm-hmm.
This was over 20 years ago, and I wrote some books. I wrote 8 books with interviews. Many of those people are in the books that I've interviewed, and I found out a lot of great information, and through that, I just continued learning and studying, and that pretty much leaves me where I am here today.
That's amazing. And so you have traveled all over the world, correct? And taught people about raw foods and helped people kind of learn the lifestyle and how to change their lives as well, correct?
Absolutely. I travel and I continue to travel all over the world to let people know how to avoid or overcome diseases.
Okay. So are there some examples, like, I mean, have you seen pretty much anything can be helped from raw foods, or is there certain things, that maybe it doesn't cover?
Well, I just got off the phone with a lady who has stage 4 cancer 20 years ago, and she realized an improvement in her diet and lifestyle will help her. The raw food diet will help most people's condition improve if you do it the correct way. But on the same hand, it is not a panacea.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifestyle change, not just a diet change.
Mm-hmm.
So there's more things that go along with it than just eating raw food. The great thing about eating a raw food diet is really it's not what you're adding, it's what you're eliminating. You're eliminating all those things that were causing issues.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where true health really begins. And then that leaves the raw food left over. So it's really eliminating what's causing the problem. And raw foods, raw vegan is a great to consume.
Right. And, they say that health begins in the colon, correct? So the GI tract is really essential to have healthy in order to, have overall health in your body when you focus on the foods and things like that. So is there, for somebody that may be having like digestive issues, maybe colitis or an issue similar to that, what would you say would be a good first step in finding some relief to that?
Well, every situation is individualized because there's no one exact situation.
Right.
Even if somebody has the same illness, they're often at a different stage of that illness. For inflammatory bowel disease, I created a website called healibd.com.
Okay.
That's healibd.com. So if anyone has that, on that website, I have the diets they should eat depending what stage they're in, if they're in an inflammatory attack or not. Much of the information really comes down to inflammation in the body, which can be used towards any so-called inflammatory disease like arthritis, colitis, pancreatitis. Most diseases, a later stage is inflammation. So it's going to help a lot of people, that same diet and information, particularly for the colon and digestion. Raw foods are great, but if somebody's in an inflammatory attack, they might be a bad choice unless they blend it up or juice it.
Okay.
So a lot of people make the mistake, especially with inflammatory bowel disease. They say, "Oh, I'm going to go on a raw food diet and I eat it like a salad." That's one of the worst things you can do.
Okay.
But if you blend up that salad, then that's a great thing. Or if you juice, that's even better. So there's a lot of particulars to it. It's not like the average person who just wants to eat better and they're eating raw. If somebody's sick, it's not as simple as just eating raw food. It's in the example I just gave and some other examples. So it depends. With sicknesses, they're an individual situation, but in general, eating more raw, ripe, fresh, organic fruits and vegetables are going to help.
Awesome. They say there's the superfoods and things like that. What are your opinions on superfoods, or even say things like aloe? I've heard aloe is good for the digestive tract and things like that. Or even, things as far as people with cancer, cannabis can help. What are your opinions on like superfoods and things like those one foods that people go to?
Well, the real superfoods in nature are fruits and vegetables. That's what a superfood is.
Yeah.
If you can eat that raw, ripe, fresh, and organic, then it's a superfood. Many people often refer to superfoods, really, what they are is exotic foods. Just the reason why they're called super is we can't get them on a regular basis. They're kind of exotic to us. So, for example, if we were living somewhere where we could never get a cucumber, and then somebody smuggled cucumber powder in, we'd be like, wow, this is amazing. But it's really the fruits and vegetables of all types in season that are the true superfoods. A supplementation is another story. And aloe vera is wonderful for digestive disorders. But on that note, there's different quality of supplements. So there's one company I know which is Aloe One. Aloe One, I believe their website is aloe1.com. It's A1 Stockton aloe. It's a frozen aloe, and it's as close as you can get to aloe right from the plant. If you go to the store and you buy aloe vera juice, you're pretty much wasting your money when you see something like this or see the real thing. So aloe's great, but we got to make sure we're getting aloe.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with a lot of supplements. But I think supplements, superfoods are great. BarleyMax and Moringa powder are two that I try to take on a regular basis.
Okay.
But from my research and experience, and a lot of raw fooders that are new don't want to hear this, but I can only go based on science. Our Creator created every nutrient known to man in a vegan diet. In the Garden of Eden, there was no animal eating. We just needed to eat fruits and vegetables. However, because man has taken what our Creator had given us and destroyed it, we no longer have that opportunity to get all the nutrients we need. So even from a raw vegan diet, we still are missing stuff. So I am a big advocate of supplements because I do not believe if we're going to be eating, even from a health food store, we can get all the nutrients we need, and supplements are very important.
Okay. Are there certain supplements that you think everybody should take?
Yes, everyone should take supplements that are individualized towards their own blood work. So, for example, if somebody takes a real blood test, not the blood test by a particular doctor locally, but if there's a great American Metabolic Laboratories with Dr. Shandell, he has something called the Longevity Blood Profile Test. And if somebody takes a test like this, then they could see what they need, and they could try to get it from food, but food just doesn't have it all. So then as the supplements based on that. And a lot of people don't take the right amount of supplements. For example, vitamin C. I meet people that say, oh, I take a vitamin C supplement, and they might take 1,000 or something. I take 10,000. So 1,000 is nothing. So that's just an example. People that are taking supplements are taking so little.
Okay.
So I think it needs to be based on your blood work, though, of what you should take, and not just what the fat is or what some celebrity tells you should take. Don't waste your money. But as for food, superfoods, the Moringa powder and the BarleyMax is what I feel is great. As for supplementation and supplements, that should be based on your blood work.
Okay. Do you think that for somebody that is trying to heal something, what is more important, fruits or greens?
Well, it depends what they're going through and what they're dealing with. I think greens are the staple of everything. We don't do enough of them, and just vegetables in general. And fruits could be great, but it depends on the climate your person is living in and what exactly a person is dealing with, because disease essentially is a detoxification or a deficiency, one of those two things, but the symptoms are the same. So if somebody has a detoxification, fruit might assist that. But if somebody's having a deficiency, they might need the minerals in the vegetables. So it depends on a particular situation. I think a good combination is good. However, on the other hand, there are some diseases that might be sugar-related. So people need to cut back on the high hybridized fruits and maybe eat the lower sugar fruits like berries and things like that. And the greens are essential for everyone, and most people don't get enough of the minerals. So I think I'd have to say the vegetables should be the main key, but we still need fruit to survive and live. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that it's essential to be 100% raw, or is there room for cooked food in there, like 80% raw?
Cooked food is not poison. So a person can certainly eat cooked food and do fine if they're eating mostly a raw food diet and they're making sure they're getting the nutrients they need, and the other factors like sleep and work and everything else, exercising and all of that.
Yeah.
But no, a person does not have to be 100% raw to be healthy.
Okay. Your books, what do you have like a favorite book that you like to recommend people for an introduction into the lifestyle? Or
yeah, if somebody's first getting into this, I have a book called The Raw Life. It's a pretty well-known book. Then I have my latest book is The Daylight Diet, which doesn't just talk about what we eat, but the time we eat it.
Would the best place to get your book or any other information that you put out on your website?
Yeah, rawlife.com. And that's rawlife.com. And I also have a membership website where I post videos. I have over 1,000 videos. It's rawlifehealthshow.com. And members get 10% off anything at the website.
Okay, great. All right. Well, so thank you for coming on the channel and sharing this information. Give people some inspiration, and hopefully those people that have conditions that they feel like they're hopeless, hopefully this will give them a little motivation and some hope. So
great. Thanks for having me. Keep up the great work, and anybody who wants, you can contact me via the website.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Paul.
Okay, man.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Yep.
Detoxify your mind and body. Be the change you wanna see. Small steps towards living better. Small steps to where I wanna be.